Hello and welcome back to the another episode of the Hindu News Analysis. Well, the date is 5th September 2025, and in this video we are going to discuss some important articles which are very much important for your preparation. But before we'll start our discussion, I would like to give you the brief idea what our approach would be while discussing these articles. With respect to every article, first we will try to understand what is the summary of the article, in which we will try to understand the crux of the article, what does the article wants to convey us, what we can take from it. We will develop the idea about what the author wants to deliver here. After discussing the summary, we will try to understand what were the key points given in the article so that you can note these key points down, and these key points are very much important for your preparation. A question can be directly framed from these key points if they want to frame from the current affairs. Then the third, after discussing the key points, we will look into the possible prelims or mains questions, whatever it would be there. So this is our approach which we are going to have with respect to every article. Now, with respect to this, without any delay, let's start our discussion by looking at the first article which is given in here. As you can see, the title of the article is How the Antibiotic Culture in India is Impacting the Mental Health. So in order to discuss this, I had brought my friend here who is a biomedical engineer and he is good expert in it, so that he will deliver about it.
So guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about antibiotic culture that is affecting the mental health of the common population. In this article, the author he wants to convey that misuse of antibiotics, this leads to the decline of the production of serotonin and dopamine, which are usually termed as happy hormones. As they are impacted, this can directly lead to the mood disorders that are commonly seen in the population of our country. So let us discuss the key points of this article. So first, it discusses about the gut-brain axis. So what the gut-brain axis is, it is a communication between the gut and the brain of a human. So what happens here is, when we take over-the-counter medications such as antibiotics for usually in India, like in COVID pandemic, we took antibiotics for coronavirus, and that definitely was a over-the-counter medication that we were taking. So this, what it causes it, as we know, there is a complex communication between the gastrointestinal tract and the human brain. This axis, when there is a healthy gut leads to the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, and it can regulate the mood and neurological function. The article also discuss about the antibiotic misuse in the India. Definitely India is currently the global leader in such cause, because over-the-counter access to the common population and the lack of public awareness, it has definitely led to the antibiotic misuse in the common population. So what are the consequences of on mental health? So when we are overusing antibiotics, it disrupts the gut's microbial balance. So it's a condition in medical terminology that we call as dysbiosis. So what dysbiosis, it leads to the inflammation, and definitely the neurotransmitter production is declined, and it can definitely lead to mental health disorders such as depression and anxiety. So article also discuss about psychobiotics. The emerging field of psychobiotics, where we potentially use probiotics and prebiotics that can definitely help in your mental health. As we already discussed that.
Is there any research about it? Can there be any alternate methods by which we can?
Definitely, there was a recent research where we go for the fecal implants of the tribal population of West Africa. And
what is the reason for that? Why do we go?
Because usually those people, they have access to the natural resources, and they are not prone to the edible food resources that really disrupts the gut-brain communication. And those fecal implants are taken by the they are these implants are done by the medical professionals to definitely help you in your gut health. Also there another key point that the article discussed was that where are the interventions that we have to the interventions, medical interventions that we should take, or other interventions that can help this misuse of antibiotics. So, article discuss about a multifaceted approach to tackle the issue. First of all, definitely, whenever there is an issue, we go for the public awareness. So, public awareness is very important because the people, the no common population, they don't know about what are the consequences of taking over-the-counter medications. So, we have to take these health campaigns where we can help the common population, make them aware what are the issues that can be caused by such misapproach. The another intervention that should be taken is the article discuss about the regulatory reforms. So actually, the drug enforcement in India, it is not much potent. We should definitely take such regulations so that we should limit the access of these over-the-counter medications. Similarly, another key point with the article discuss about is the medical training. Though the clinicians like doctors, they should be trained in antibiotic stewardship. It's a holistic patient care that considers gastrointestinal health in psychiatric evaluations. And one more point here, the intervention that we should take here is that we should harness the traditional knowledge. So traditional fermented foods like curd, idli, dosa, these are some of the foods. Also, we have broth. We can take these foods, and they definitely help the people in their gut health. So, once the gut health is good, the patient's overall mental health, as we saw, there is a communication between the brain and gastrointestinal tract. So, these traditional foods we should take them, and definitely it will help in your gut health.
So, what do you get from this article? What do you want to convey to the audience? These are the students who are preparing for UPSC, and they want the happy mind. Then only they can prepare well. So, what is your expertise? What would you recommend them? How they should eat, and what kind of foods they should consume, and what should be their habits, maybe sleeping pattern, and all that.
So, I think you are talking about the summary of the article that.
How they can implement this summary into their
So
lives.
definitely, the first of all, we should know about. We should have the knowledge what is the interaction of the gut and human brain, and how the serotonin and dopamine, they are related with the gut. Once you know about that thing, and you know about the potential threats that exist in taking those foods that really disrupt your gastrointestinal tract, and once you are, one of the biggest issues is that while you are studying for such a prestigious exam, which is very much, which takes your lot of energy and lot of neurotransmitter involvement is there. So what actually happens here is that there is a common issue that the students like IAS aspirants, they have is that IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And when we see the cause of irritable bowel syndrome, it is definitely related to gut-brain communication. So there are some things that we should, first of all, we should try to reduce our stress level, and we can also we talked about the traditional knowledge, like we should take curd, we should take fermented foods like idli, dosa. These things should be taken, and also we should be aware with what are the consequences of not balancing your gut and brain. And once you are dealing with an exam like IAS, your gut should be very good so that your brain will focus properly.
Thank you for staying with us, sir. Thank you very much. It was very great interaction with you, sir. Now, let's move to the questions which can be framed from this article, which can be very much relevant for your preparation. So here the question says, which of the following best describes the gut-brain axis? As we discussed, a person's nerve connection that allows the brain to control digestion. No, it's not about this. Second, the interstate communication between the gastrointestinal tract and the central nervous system. 100%. This is exactly what sir discussed here. Now, with this, I hope you had understood the article. Today's approach was a little different. I wanted this article as it is relevant for your preparation. At the same time, when you are preparing, when I was preparing, I felt these issues. I had IBS, I could not sleep properly. So we need to know what are the foods we should consume, what are good for our gut, because this time period which you are investing in preparing for IAS, you cannot get irritated all the time. You cannot have the anxiety all the time. You need to be happy, and that way I called my friend, as he is expert in biomedical and he delivered his important lecture here. So with this, I hope you had understood the article. So with this, I would like to take a time here to give you the brief introduction about this initiative, so that if you are new to our channel, you will get more connected with us. Basically from 2nd June 2025, we started an initiative here by the name Target IAS 2026. Under this initiative, I promised you that every day I'm going to upload 2 videos. One in the morning session, where we will discuss the current affairs, which is usually this video. Current affairs will take care of the daily news analysis, will take care of the important news articles which can be directly relevant for your preparation. And second, we'll take care of your static syllabus, which we do every day, as I had promised you. Here, I had promised you that by the month of January 2026, we are going to complete your full syllabus. Whatever would be required for you to clear the exam, everything would be cleared here. But the only exception is that we are not going to cover your optional subjects. With respect to your static syllabus, we had already completed Indian polity, Indian governance, we had completed. We are currently discussing the Indian history, and today we may upload the 9th lecture of Indian ancient history. And with this, I had told you one thing, that as we are delivering these lectures, we also prepare notes for you, and I would call it the full encyclopedia for UPSC, with respect to these subjects. For example, currently we had completed Indian polity and governance, and the notes for Indian polity and governance are available. A comprehensive notes on Indian polity and a comprehensive book on Indian polity and governance. This book is very uniquely written. Usually what you will see in conventional books, you will find out there would be data given, concepts would be given, but they won't tell you how it can be important for you. But this book, I had written it in the perspective of the aspirants, what they want from it. And after every concept which is there, you will find out the possible prelims or mains question which can be relevant from that article. So if you want to get access to this book, what you will have to do? Just mail me at salvation UPSC 136@gmail.com. Mail me at this mail ID, and you will be told to pay only 200 rupees for this, and you will get access to it. If you want to be the part of it, please do subscribe the channel, do share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative, and please do write in the comments what else should we bring for you guys. Now, without any delay, let's move to the another article here, and let's try to analyze what it is about. Well, the article here talks about the Trump's tariff war as opportunity for the global South. How Trump's tariff war is opportunity for global South. Basically the article talks about why Trump is doing so. What are the reasons for that? And the article highlights 3 major reasons, which we will see in the key points. What are 3 major reasons? First, he will talk about the domestic reasons, the promise he had made to the people, the xenophobia in US, the reason for that. Then the article will talk about the China's impact of China, and also the strengthening his domestic market through economy. So these are the things which he discussed. Then further, the article puts some light on the India's approach, what India's approach should be in this regard. And the article in a way criticizes that India is in a way aligning towards China. And the author does not like that, because for India, they should not align with China, rather than they should have a good relationship with both US and China. At the same time, India should not fall in this trap that they should believe in the bipolar world. India has always believed in the multipolar world, and this is what they should exactly believe in, and we should exactly work on. And then the author recommends that what are our disadvantage, that we don't have good manufacturing at our country. We should focus on all those things. So this is the crux of the article. Now let's move to the key points what were given in the article and let's analyze them. First, as I told you, what is the Trump's motivation? First, domestic politics. He is appeasing the silent majority that feels disadvantaged by neoliberal globalization by using economic populism and xenophobia rhetoric, which translates into sanctions, tariffs, and immigration crackdowns. And we had seen that how they are xenophobic. They don't like the foreigners in their land. They feel that they are taking their opportunities. They are taking their their employment, and they don't like it at all. This is one of the motivation for the Trump, and they are the people who had supported the Trump in his campaign. Then the second is economic self-interest. As Trump is the businessman himself and he knows how to talk, he's the best dealer. There is no doubt about it. Now let's have a look at what does the author talk about with his self-interest, economic self-interest. The tariffs are a form of extortion designed to bolster US's economic strength and check China's rapid rise. Bolster economic strength, US's economic strength, and check the China's rapid rise. The author argues that this is a protectionist strategy with historic precedent. This is the protectionist strategy from the Trump. Then it is also about the bipartisan support. While Trump's methods are unique, the goal of reversing US deindustrialization, which in US has seen from last few decades, there has been deindustrialization. They had, they stopped developing that much, and the Trump wants to reverse it, and also at the same time counter the China's influence has brought bipartisan support in the US. Then what is the implication for India? The US is not a reliable democratic counterweight to China, as it is very much evident. China is not also the reliable counterweight to US. So it is vice versa. And that is the exactly reason why this article criticizes India's move, as we are giving leverage to China right now. That should not be done like that. So according to the author, what does he say? The US is not a reliable democratic counterweight to China because the US's renewed ties with Pakistan, the potential for rehyphenation, which they had tried to do between India and Pakistan, and the imposition of tariffs on Indian goods despite India's purchase of Russian oil prove this. So this is how they are not reliable. They are trying to rehyphenize, as we had from last few 3 decades. We tried our best to dehyphenize between India and Pakistan now, and we were very much successful prior to Operation Sindoor. But after Operation Sindoor, the things had changed, and how Trump views India and Pakistan, it has changed, and his relationship with their general, it has changed, and now they are trying to rehyphenize both India and Pakistan. Then the author critiques the Indian government's major concessions to China and its foreign policy approach, which is described as personalized diplomacy and adventurism. Then, what are the proposed actions for India? The author proposes few actions. First, confrontation. India must respond to US pressure with strength, not concessions, and prioritize its own national interests. This is what the author here talks. Then, recalibration. The government should move away from the Modi doctrine. This is something, this is something which you don't have to discuss, which you don't have to mention. But, the author, in a way, it is much aligned. This is in a way criticizing the BJP government right now. This is criticizing the Modi government right now, and this is not exactly what you as a UPSC aspirant have to write. But you can in a way criticize the moves, for example, the way we are aligning with China, and it shows that in a way we are believing in the bipolar world. But we can never write the Modi doctrine. This is not good at all. Then also strategic autonomy. India must champion multipolarity, a world order with multiple centers of power as an alternative to the unipolar US dominated or bipolar US and China models. Then what is the domestic strengthening? To be a credible global power, India must urgently address internal structural problems such as low manufacturing growth, high unemployment, and stagnant private investment. These are the 3 major issues which we should focus on. Then only we can achieve what we are desiring. So with respect to this, let us see what kind of question can be asked in the exam. Here the question says, the ongoing global poly crisis necessitates a strategic recalibration for India to forge a more equitable world order. In light of this statement, critically analyze the challenges posed by the US's foreign and economic policies to India's strategic autonomy, discuss the policy reforms and diplomatic strategies India should adopt to address these disruptions, and champion a multipolar world. So, if you want to write the answer to this question, I would like to check those answers. If you want them to be checked by me, then you should mail me your answers at salvation 136 salvation UPSC 136 at the rate gmail.com. Now with this, let's move to the another article here. Let's see what it is about. Well, again, it is about the GSTs, the GST 2.0, which was introduced, and the article says that what was the necessity of this, and we had discussed it. The necessity was that there would be more money in the hands of the people. When there would be more money in the hands of the people, then it will definitely increase the consumption. It is very basic economics. Why do government cuts the taxes? So that there is less money in the hands of the people, so that people will have more money in their hands, and it will increase, it will lead to the consumption. Now let's see with respect to this what is given in the article. Let's try to understand the key points. Here, first, GST structure simplification. What was the simplification? What they had done? The GST Council has moved towards simplified two-slab systems of 5% and 18%, which we already know, discussed, largely replacing the previous four-tier system of 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. And also a separate 40% bracket has been created for luxury goods and sin goods like tobacco and aerated drinks, that we exactly know and we had discussed. What are these aerated drinks? Like Coca-Cola and all that stuff, soda, all that stuff. Then we have, what is the reason for this? Boost to consumption. The rate cuts, particularly on household essentials, consumer appliances, and automobiles, are expected to provide a much needed boost to consumer spending. This is a timely move as it coincides with the festive season. This is exactly, it will increase the consumption. Then what is the fiscal implication? The government has estimated a revenue loss of approximately 48,000 crore per year due to the rate cuts. However, the article suggests this could be an underestimation. There would be revenue loss, but it will also lead to consumption. Then end of what is further mentioned, end of compensation cess. The GST Council decided to do away with the compensation cess, which was a point of contention with some states. This move is seen as a way to simplify the tax regime but leave states to find their own ways to offset revenue losses. So there would be the contention with respect to the states, with respect to the compensation cess. Let us see what will happen in this regard. Then it further talks about the anti-profiteering. The article recommends the temporary revival of the National Anti-Profiteering Authority to ensure business pass on the benefits of the tax cuts to consumers and do not engage in price gouging. The National Anti-Profiteering Authority, which was a temporary body created under Section 171 of the Central GST Act 2017, was disbanded, and its functions were absorbed by the Competition Commission of India before being shifted to the newly constituted GST Appellate Tribunal. So this is about the. It has the article recommends the temporary revival of the National Anti-Profiteering Authority. Then further it talks about the new GST 2.0. While the new GST regime is a significant improvement, the article notes that it still has some complexities. However, the correction of duty inversions, where the tax on raw materials is higher than the finished products, and simplified paperwork are considered major positive changes. So with respect to this, I hope you had understood this article. We discussed it many times. Now let's have a look at what question can be asked from the article here. Here the question says, based on the recent GST reforms, which of the following statements are correct? First, the new GST regime has a simplified two-slab structure of 5% and 18% and a separate 40% slab. That is correct. Second, the GST Council has decided to reintroduce the compensation cess. Totally incorrect. The National Anti-Profiteering Authority is a permanent body. Totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement 1 only. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. With this, let's move to the another slide and see what article is here. Well, again, it is about the GST, and let's analyze in this article. We'll try to understand what are the sectors, who are happy with the new regime, and what are the sectors who have the mixed reaction. Let's try to understand that. For your mains answer writing, this article may be very much important. So here, key points: positive impacts. Automobile sector GST rates for entry level and mid segment cars have been reduced by up to 13% percentage points, and high end cars will see reduction of 8 to 10 percentage points. This is accepted to boost consumer demand. 100% correct. So automobile sector has seen a great. Then renewable energy, GST on renewable energy components such as solar cells has been reduced from 12% to 5%, a move praised for accelerating India's clean energy transition. That is also great. Then consumer appliance GST rate cuts are expected to stimulate demands for consumer appliances, particularly during the upcoming festival season. Then insurance, personal health and life insurance policies have been made tax-free. That is also great. And then daily essentials, the new two-slab system of 5% and 18% has made a wide range of daily usage items like hair oil, soaps, and toothpaste cheaper. This is the positive aspect of the GST 2.0 in a nutshell. Now, what is the negative aspect of it? Airlines, the industry is unhappy with the highest GST rate on non-economic class seats. So it is unhappy about that because it would go beyond it. Small entrepreneurs, the increase in the GST rate for labor charges from 12% to 18% is a point of concern. Then textile industry, while the industry welcomes the rationalization of rates for man-made and cotton textiles, it is disappointed with the 18% GST on garments priced above 2,500, arguing that these are also widely purchased by the common persons. Then vegetable oil purchase, the industry is calling for the resolution of the inverted duty structure where the GST rate on their raw materials is higher than the finished goods. This is what inverted duty structure is about. The GST Council, however, did correct this issue for fertilizers and man-made textile industries. Then also auto dealers, the new GST rates effective from September 22 have raised concerns about consumers postponing purchases, creating a potential sales lull. So this is what is exactly happening with respect to it. So with respect to this, let's see what kind of question can be framed in the mains. Here the question says the recent GST rate rationalization, while aimed at simplifying the tax structure and boosting consumption, has had a differential impact on various sectors of the Indian economy. In light of this statement, examine the key changes announced by the GST Council, discuss the concept of inverted duty structure where the taxes on the raw material is higher than the finished good. This is inverted duty structure. And analyze how the government approach to tax changes impact different industries, particularly small businesses and consumers. Write down the answer in 150 to 200 words if you want to write it, if you want to practice, and if you want to qualify. And then send your answer to me for the checking at salvation UPSC 136 at the rate gmail.com. Now with this, let's move to the another article and see what is given in here. Well, the article is about India's birth rate down, first dip in the total fertility rate in 2 years. So India's birth rate is down. So in this article there is much data given. What are the states which has less total fertility rate? What are as the average fertility rate? The accepted fertility rate should have been 2.1, so that the exact number of people will be replaced with extra one. But it has reduced to India by 1 to 1.9. So it is a concern for India. And at the same time, the old age people, it is increasing. Old aged people are increasing, and also the overall birth rate, the crude birth rate is also down. So with respect to this, let's try to understand what are the key points given, what is the data given, and what is the authority who gives source of the data. First, the data is from the latest sample registration survey statistical report for 2023 released by the Office of Registrar General of India. So let's try to understand. First, it talks about the crude birth rate. India's crude birth rate has declined to 18.4 in 2023, down from 19.1 in 2022. It is from out of 1,000. How many births are there? It is 18.4 in 2023. Total fertility rate. India's total fertility rate has fallen to 1.9 in 2023 after remaining constant at 2.0 in the previous 2 years. This is below the replacement level, which is the total fertility rate of 2.1, and it can be very much harmful for the longer run. What is the replacement level total fertility rate? This is the average number of children each woman needs to have for one generation to replace the next, and a total fertility rate below this indicates a long-term population decline in the absence of migration. Then what is the state-wise trends? Highest total fertility rate, it is Bihar with 2.8, then followed by Uttar Pradesh 2.5, 2.6, Madhya Pradesh 2.4, and Rajasthan 2.3, Chhattisgarh 2.2. Lowest fertility rate, it is Delhi 1.2, West Bengal 1.3, Tamil Nadu 1.3, and Maharashtra 1.4. Highest crude birth rate, it is Bihar 25.8. Lowest crude birth rate, it is Tamil Nadu only 12. So also the article further talks about the aging population. The proportion of the elderly population above 60 has increased to 9.7% of the total population. Kerala has the highest proportion of the elderly at 15%. So Kerala has the highest proportion of elderly people. Then data source, which we had already discussed. So with respect to this, let's see what kind of question can be asked in the exam. Here the question says, based on the latest sample registration survey report of for 2023, which of the following statements are correct? First, India's total fertility rate has fallen to 1.9, which is below the replacement level. That is true. The state with the highest crude birth rate is Bihar. That's also true. The proportion of the elderly population above 60 has decreased. That is totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1 and statement 2 only. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option B. With this, we had completed our today's discussion. I hope it was interesting. With my friend, as I told you, he's expert in biomedical and bioengineering. He has basically he did his biomedical engineering, and then he's currently doing PhD in bioengineering. So I think this interaction was much needed for you guys. And if you like this initiative, please do subscribe the channel, do share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. And please do write in the comments what else should we bring for you guys. Now, thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much and have a nice day.